What's going on, Socialites, and welcome back to part 4 of our primer leading into Season 8 of the Global Pokemon Society Draft League, featuring VGC competitive doubles in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. If you missed our last 3 parts, we just went over all the main sort of team strategies, including Weather, Trick Room, Rock Slide Spam, Disc Quake, all that sort of stuff. So go back, check those out if you want some competitive team strategies to build around. In this video, we're just going to go over general tips on how to succeed in a doubles format, because there obviously is a lot of differences between singles and doubles. With singles, there's a lot of switching. It's all about getting the right matchup, having your bulky Pokemon be able to take hits. That's taken out in doubles due to there being 2 Pokemon on the field. There's a lot of instances where you double attack into one Pokemon to delete it on the field. Speed is very important, because if both of your Pokemon are going before your opponent's Pokemon, chances are you're going to be able to knock them out a lot faster, get those 2v1 situations. So we're going to start off by talking about something that's relatively new. It's seen a little bit of play, but it really came into effect last game with Sword and Shield because of a new ability that was introduced. We're talking about neutralizing gas and ability replacement in general. So in Sword and Shield, the Weezing line got a new signature ability, neutralizing gas, which removes all abilities from the field. This not only affects your opponent's Pokemon, but also your partner Pokemon. It's a very powerful ability, which we'll get into for your teammates, but the fact that it takes away your opponent's abilities as well, it really hampers a lot of team strategies. You're not going to get the Levitate on Rotoms when we're talking about like our Disc Quake strategy that we've had before. You're not going to get your Swift Swim or Chlorophyll, or even getting, Drizzle or Drought activated to begin with. You're not going to get any of those abilities. And by cycling your Weezing in and out, you can proc multiple Intimidates without having to switch your Intimidate Pokemon out. It's definitely a very powerful strategy if used correctly. So here we just got a sample Weezing set. Pretty standard stuff. Sludge Bomb as your stab move. Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, Protect. If you want something a little safer than Sludge Bomb in case you're worried about steals, although there aren't a lot of good steel Pokemon running around in this generation for doubles, you can always run something like Heat Wave or Flamethrower on there as well. From a team perspective, Weezing removing your abilities means that Pokemon that are just strong on their base stats are going to excel very well on this sort of team, and especially Pokemon such as Regigigas and Slacking. So both of these Pokemon have debilitating abilities. Regigigas was slow start, meaning for 5 turns. Its speed and attack are cut in half. With neutralizing gas on the field, you don't have that. You're just going to have 160 base attack stat, being able to rip through stuff. You get some great moves. Giga Impact just to delete something, huge stab move. Just delete something, you don't care. If you can't move the next turn, you just want something removed. You could run Strength, but I just think if you're gonna want to delete something, you want to get Impact, Rock Slide, and Drain Punch for your other stabs, and Protect as well. And Slacking, again, Truant means you only move every other turn, but with neutralizing gas, you get to move every turn. So again, kind of the similar sort of move pool, but Sucker Punch for a little bit of priority there as well. And you can change these moves around, right? I'm just throwing up these sample sets for you, but the power that you get from these guys, 160 base attack stat, is huge. Just great stuff there. I'm very excited to see if someone will do a neutralizing gas strategy in the draft. But even if you don't do neutralizing gas, and say you still want to try out Regigigas or Slacking, or a lot of other Pokemon that this might help, you have ability replacing moves. The first one's going to be Skill Swap. We have a lot of Pokemon with Skill Swap, most of them Psychic types. A couple interesting ones are, for example, Azelf here. You could have something like a Magnezone or a Heatran, which are both quad weak to ground. You have a very fast Azelf on the field, skill swap to give it Levitate. Now they become immune to those ground attacks, could really screw up some turns. Another interesting sort of Pokemon to think about with this is Alakazam. You can give Magic Guard to someone, so if you'd rather have a different Life Orb user, they wouldn't take any recoil from their Life Orb. Different stuff like that. So skill swap, some pretty interesting stuff. I definitely like Azelf skill swap for certain Pokemon. And another move with a little less distribution but even more power than skill swap is entrainment. So entrainment just overwrites the ability. You don't swap abilities, you just give the other Pokemon the ability. This has seen some play in doubles with Durant in later generations, because Durant has Truant as its hidden ability, being able to entrain Truant and onto another opposing Pokemon. Octillery with entrainment can give Moody to your other Pokemon. So again, it might take a little bit of setup. You might have to, work around it, but maybe you just have like a fake out Pokemon. So you can get a fake out onto their stronger Pokemon to give you that opportunity to get entrainment, and then you can start protecting and getting those Moody boosts. Very interesting stuff if done right. So again, just wanted to go over neutralizing gas is a strategy in and of itself. It probably could have been part of last video, but also being able to change abilities on your opponent and, of course, your teammate. Going to perhaps the biggest thing for doubles is the ability Intimidate. Intimidate is so powerful in doubles as it hits both of your opponent's Pokemon. Therefore, cutting out, what is that? You basically drop them each by 1/3, so you're taking 2/3 of their power away on the first turn of their overall power. So that is pretty huge stuff. Arcanine, of course, one of the better Intimidate users. Heat Wave, Snarl to hit those special attackers, Will-O-Wisp to cripple those physical attackers even more. Great stuff there. Hitmontop. Hitmontop is probably the best Intimidate user because it gets so many other good utility moves. You get Fake Out, you get Wide Guard, you get Helping Hand. You can do so many things with Hitmontop, but Intimidate, a lot of teams are going to want to be able to pick up an Intimidate user. There aren't that many in this generation. Let's be real with ourselves. So for Intimidate, you got Arcanine, Hitmontop that we talked about. Arbok, not very good. Tauros is okay, but he's pretty frail. Gyarados is a big one. Granbull as a fairy type is solid. Stantler's on there. Stantler can be interesting. Stantler does get that skill swap, so you can actually skill swap Intimidate onto your teammate, therefore triggering it again, which is pretty interesting. Quillfish has Intimidate, not too bad. Mighty Yenna, a little weak. Masquerain, a little weak. Mawile, a little weak. Salamence is on there. Great, powerful Intimidate offensive Pokemon. Staraptor for a fast Intimidate user, and then Luxray, pretty mid-tier. But as you see, for like usable ones, you probably got, let's see, Arcanine, Hitmontop, Tauros, Gyarados, Granbull. I'll put Stantler on there, Quillfish, Salamence, Staraptor, Luxray. You got 10. So maybe half the teams in the draft will pick up a decent Intimidator. So those are going to go pretty quick. You're going to want to prioritize those. Now, how do you counter Intimidate if, say, you like to run physical Pokemon? Well, a couple buffs to certain abilities definitely helped. Oblivious. Mamoswine is basically the only physical attack you really care about with Oblivious. You could do a Belly Drum Slowbro if you want to be a little crazy, but if you're Belly Drummer, you don't care about one Intimidate. But Mamoswine with Oblivious cancels out Intimidate. Huge stuff there. And the big one is Inner Focus. Not only does Inner Focus stop the Intimidate, which is what we're talking about here, but it also stops flinching. So Pokemon like Kangaskhan not going to be able to be faked out, or if you get hit with those rock slides, you won't flinch. Some other great Inner Focus Pokemon. Hitmonchan's pretty decent. Alakazam you could see sometimes just so you don't get faked out. Dragonite's a good one. Crobat, so you get that guaranteed Tailwind off. Sneasel, you got Icy Wind, you get fake out, so some stuff with that. The legendary beast, Raikou, Entei, Suicune, especially Entei, likes Inner Focus again because it can't be intimidated. You're going to get those attacks off, and Lucario as well with the Inner Focus. So a lot of good Inner Focus Pokemon, a lot with some good utility. Kangaskhan up here, you got some great utility with Rock Slide and Fake Out. So look at those Pokemon with Inner Focus, the physical attackers on there, see what you want from that. Some other abilities, we have Defiant, which when one of your stats gets a stat drop, you get +2 in attack. So one of the interesting ones is Empoleon, not normally thought of as a physical attacker, but has Defiant as its hidden ability. So something like an agility Empoleon to make up for its low speed. If you're expecting certain intimidators, you could definitely bring Empoleon. Waterfall, Steel Wing for stab, Agility Protect. But you also have, there's not a lot of Defiant users here. You also have Primate. And I think that might be it. Let's see, you got Primate, you got Farfetch. No one's going to use Farfetch. Perugly, not so good. Like, there's just not a lot of Defiant. Unfortunately. It's not like in later generations where you see we get quite a bit more, especially between Bisharp being a huge one. And, you know, if you want to go physical, Thundurus as well. But we also have Competitive, which is the special attack variant of that. So when one of your stats gets dropped, you get +2 in your special attack. This is only seen on Milotic and Wigglytuff. I do believe there aren't any more. If I can type. Yeah, just Milotic and the Wigglytuff line. So not a lot in terms of those abilities, but definitely Inner Focus is a big one for you to think about. Next, we're going to be talking about Redirection, specifically Rage Powder and Follow Me. So for Rage Powder, we got some good selections here. Tangrowth, of course, on here. A very physical, bulky Pokemon with Regenerator. Gets access to Sleep Powder as well. Great utility for doubles. If you want a little faster Pokemon, although more frail, you got Butterfree, who can also Rage Powder and Sleep Powder. Parasect with the Spore, pretty good. Venomoth, Ariados, Jumpluff, and Carnivine round out our Rage Powder users. So you got a lot of Bug and Grass Pokemon. Typically you want to stick with the Grass types. Again, just with the prevalence of Rock Slide in the format. But all of them can make their uses, of course, because if you're clicking Redirection, you're protecting something else. Other Pokemon to think about are the ones with Follow Me. Pachirisu, of course, a staple for this, has been very popular ever since the original Gen 4 Diamond and Pearl VGC games. Has that nice Volt Absorb ability as well, so electric attacks won't affect it. But some big ones are Clefable, Togekiss, Furret, and Lucario. Lucario is actually a huge support Pokemon that can still do some damage with Meteor Mash or Bullet Punch or Close Combat. But again, out of that, you got maybe 4 good Follow Me users, because you don't want to use Furret. So you got 4 good Follow Me users and maybe 4 good Rage Powder users. So you want to think about that as well. Only about, again, half of the teams in the draft are going to get some Redirection. they are going to be prioritized highly. Next thing we're going to be talking about is speed control. I kind of alluded to this at the beginning of the video, but speed is king in doubles. If both of your Pokemon are attacking before your opponents, you're going to be able to get those 2-for-1 knockouts where both of your Pokemon attack into an opposing Pokemon and knock it out before it can do anything. So we talked about this in our last video, but Trick Room, of course, a great tool for speed control if you prefer bulkier, slower teams. And Cresselia's the poster child for that. On the opposite end, if you like more mid-range to higher end speed teams, you're going to be looking at Tailwind, Latios, of course, and Latios getting access to Tailwind. Crobat might be one of the better Tailwind setters thanks to its inner focus ability, preventing it from being faked out. You also have Murkrow, who can get the Prankster Tailwind. But there's so many decent Tailwind users in this generation. Definitely something that you can pick up in the draft. Another move that we have is Icy Wind, which is a spread damage move, 40 base power spread damage that drops the affected Pokemon's base speed by 1. So this is pretty spammable. Not too many Icy Wind users. We have Mr. Mime up here, who can get some other good utility moves such as Wide Guard and Fake Out. You could also run screens on it if you want to. Other than that, you're kind of looking at Pokemon like Weavile, Mamoswine, Empoleon, Regice. Like a lot of ice Pokemon, which you don't want to run too many of. And just in the kind of secondary category, but goes with this, After You allows your teammate to move after the Pokemon that uses After You. So again, if you got something that's slow but can hit really hard, this might be something that you want to think about. The Pokemon that can take advantage of this the best are Pokemon like Blossom and Vileplume in the Sun with their Chlorophyll ability, doubling their speed. Gives them pretty decent speed stat. You should be able to outspeed anything around like a base 100 if they're max speed there. And other than that, you got Togekiss at base 80 speed, isn't too bad, but Lopunny at base 105 can outspeed a lot of things with the After You, and again gets access to a lot of other good utility moves, Fake Out, Fake Tears to drop the special defense, and Switcheroo can cripple physical attackers by switching a Flame Orb onto them. Just want to kind of just give a mention to Helping Hand as well. Not a lot of Pokemon get Helping Hand compared to later generations. Hitmontop is probably the best one, again, just because of all of its utility. You got all the evolutions get it. Some Pokemon like Plusle, Minun, Volbeat, Illumise, which you really kind of need a reason to put them on your team. But Lucario's probably another good one. Again, Lucario has some great utility moves, Follow Me, Helping Hand, that allow it to provide a dual role on your team. It can run Aura Sphere for a special attack. If you prefer physical attacks, you could run something like Meteor Mash or Bullet Punch for priority. And I just want to mention this because it is a move that comes up a little bit, is Ally Switch. Again, not too many Pokemon games. You're talking about Alakazam, which you want to be attacking with the Alakazam, so I will use Ally Switch. Rapidash, which is a bad Pokemon. Xatu, Gardevoir, which is kind of in the same camp as Alakazam. Latios, which is kind of in the same camp as those previous two, and Gallade. So, Kingler is interesting just because it's Kingler, right? Why does Kingler get Ally Switch? I don't know, but it's on there. So, just want to mention that for sure. And the last move I want to talk about is Protect. As you can tell, 1, 2. Detect is a variant. Protect 2. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 out of the 18 Pokemon that we showed today, and then if you go back to the other videos, there's plenty more to see, all have Protect. With the removal of Dynamax, and we've talked about this a few times through the series, but with the removal of Dynamax and Z moves from the past couple generations, and also no Pokemon like Urshifu who don't care if you Protect. Protect is in a great spot right now. Best spot it's been in for the last couple generations. Again, the key to doubles is usually doing these 2-for-1s, getting both of your Pokemon to attack, knock out your opponent's Pokemon, keep it a 2-to-1 scenario. Protect just stops that, right? If you get a key Protect off and your opponent basically wastes both of their turns, that's huge. Double Protect on turn 1 is very popular because of Fake Out. So if both of your Pokemon that you lead off with that Protect, you can just click that, not have to worry about being faked out and attacked into, and basically start the game with Fake Out not on the table. Prediction reliant, but very necessary. I think on a team of 6 Pokemon, you want at least 3 to all have Protect. Maybe 4. 3, definitely, maybe 4, depending on your sets and your team. But Protect is so important, especially if you have Pokemon that have 4x weaknesses. All of those should be running Protect, so that you can scout out moves as well as let your teammate take care of the threats that would take you out very easily with that 4 times damage. So thanks everybody for watching this. Comment down below what sort of strategies you want, because in tomorrow's video, the last video in this series, because Saturday night will be the draft, we're just going to go over some team building using our tier list for the draft. So thanks again everybody, and as always, stay classy, society.